Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing text box equal to 1,000 cities. So here, basically, the Parliament House, legal departments, Supreme Courts, High Courts. So one person told us, Sunil, basically, do you know, basically, there is one Syria country, basically, which is completely ended. Why it might have ended? There might be some reason, right? Basically, because there everything was failed. Exactly same situation basically is of USA and India basically, same as Syria basically. Syria completely basically ended. Why? Because there nothing basically was correct. There nothing was correct. That means what? Supreme Court, High Courts, legal departments, software companies, governments, all basically was not doing their job basically. So the entire Syria basically ended. Same situation basically is in America and India basically. Here also basically everything is like this. Same situation basically. So now basically one of the person told that what will happen here basically. Because it's the same situation basically. So one person told that if condition which I told basically the military department army group was supposed to check of the USA and Indian army department basically because Indian army department also might be knowing this everything na basically कि ऐसा ही मतलब it's basically just ongoing basically like that कि अमेरिका ने बोला हाँ तो इंडिया also told yes basically America told no, so we also told no. But they are basically telling no, basically, but they are paying money. So you have to. They basically tells everything, each and every words basically at last. You also have to check. If you want to confirm this, basically, you watch each and every videos of Americans government basically. American departments basically American businessmen American technical group basically they always add one word few words with that is you also have to check the stuff basically from our side it's done they only check that they say that only but they are telling in India basically that means it was your responsibility also India's responsibility but that was not done basically. So that is the Supreme Court High Courts then the even basically the temple groups basically because temple groups basically are paying the money to the Supreme Court High Courts and government's department basically are mostly handled by the God's places basically that are the church, temples. So they also basically not told anything. Basically. So here basically one of the person told that the situation is exactly like Syria basically. Same thing basically. If you watch the Syria basically before the Syria ended, see the government conditions, see the legal departments conditions, see the software industry of Syria. Same condition basically. It's currently of India basically. And India basically is on development stage basically and huge investment basically is ongoing and in this investment basically period basically this is tracked basically that India has not tested this everything basically and USA also basically not tested if it's not tested basically this is the base basically of the software industry if this is not tested basically then basically how you started the software basically so one person basically asked the question who started the first software in Earth planet in America basically. So one example basically long before I have taken how basically the CRM project came into the picture. So one person basically given one idea. One CRM group assume that basically 100 expert basically connected with the in hotel basically in hotel or basically in conference room they basically started discussion and they basically found that basically there are around 25 types of CRM projects. So they basically collected that basically 25 types of CRM projects basically are there. So that ideas basically are still ongoing of CRM. So whenever basically you are going to think a CRM project basically that 25 ideas basically are going to connect to your brain basically when basically you are thinking the CRM that basically data are collected by the power companies. So that basically is not textbooks basically. That is one system basically. There basically text box doesn't come. There combo box basically doesn't come. But when you implement the CRM into the software basically, that time basically this system basically of the software industry is basically coming. So the people who are into the CRM, they basically are not into this. So one of the person told this everything was basically legally approved basically. The power company basically who taken the data basically, and when basically they sent to the power, software company basically, the first person basically who's the first software company, assume that basically it is TCS, they basically captured the CRM project and the 15 types or 25 types of ideas of the CRM, that from 25 types of ideas basically CRM basically are can be developed. There basically it's not connected with the software industry. But when it basically started analyzing that stuff, the analysis basically of the CRM started, they basically connected the that 25 types of CRM projects. Now basically it comes to the development part. That is the software industry basically development. That also basically was done. Text box basically started using. If condition started using. This was implemented by the army group also. Army group told that basically this is the power supply. When basically the power supply is going to pass to this area, sorry, from this area the power supply is going to come. That time basically if condition will not implement, so not implement, that means the missile will go to that side. If it's going to implement, then basically missile will go to that side. That's why basically lots of condition basically might be there. That means Microsoft basically came into the picture, but Microsoft basically don't have any control. If condition basically they are having the subscription, if they will stop the subscription, then if condition will not work. So this all thing basically Microsoft don't know basically. The person who are basically into the army department basically they are doing the coding basically, the military department coding basically, the missile codings basically. They all basically knows this everything. So that basically I have already discussed basically. So here the stuff is the legal department basically. They have approved this basically. So one of the person told that Sunil कहाँ पे है ये? Where is the database of the Supreme Court? So one person basically literally told that basically Sunil you asked a TCS company basically who sees the CRM sorry the HR department. The HR department basically sees some each and every. For example, I am passing the resume. Sunil Arna resume basically passed to the TCS. TCS basically checks the legal department, that he basically connected with the legal department. So that legal department basically that is a database of entire legal. So that group also basically not tested. It's exactly Syria basically India. Currently basically the world basically which is ongoing. In that basically the India and America countries having the same situation of Syria basically. So one person told that yes, this was not basically supposed to be that. The government also told that basically जाने दो मैं अपने को क्या करने का. When the next government will come, then they will see basically. And will the next when the next government came, they will say that basically अपने को क्या करने का. We are basically staying in space center. We are basically staying in universe. We will think of ourselves basically. So they have not tested basically. So they thought that basically let basically the space center group basically die. So that was literally basically they have thought this only basically. So one person basically asked the question, if this type of thing basically is ongoing, the space center group basically was supposed to be connect with the Earth planet. They were not supposed to trust the Microsoft also basically. They were not supposed to trust the American government also. They were not supposed to trust Indian government also basically. They were not supposed to trust. But on the trust relationship basically, this everything basically happened. And this everything is already done basically. Now you can't do anything basically. So now one person told that from the space center basically, exactly same thing basically, Syria basically has done, same thing basically India has done and America has done. So now basically what are the steps basically which space center and satellite group basically are going to take. So in next video basically we are going to see that basically what would the step basically the space center group is going to take. In this basically India is the god country. So in next video basically we are going to see that.